Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland Reviewer, and this is my week in review. It's a little bit delayed, but we're getting around to it. So here's to talk about some films that I was able to stream and watch on Netflix DVD this past week, along with all the shows that I've been keeping up with and binging. So starting off with a Netflix DVD pick, I had Finding Steve McQueen, and this film, it was alright. It's a heist type film. It's a period piece. It takes place in like the 60s. And if you're really into that 60s vibe, and just for a pretty by the numbers straightforward kind of heist film with some charming performances and characters, that's what Finding Steve McQueen really is. There isn't anything that's extra impressive about it on top of that, but it's a pretty straightforward and interesting film. Now the next one I watched was Haxen. And this is a very old German horror film about witchcraft and the devil. And the visuals and the production design and the costumes were incredible. And it was a really cool experience watching something with just how creative they got with the visual techniques and the different little stories they were pulled together. This is definitely something to check out, and I got to watch it on the Criterion channel. I watched Charlie Says, which is a recent film about Charles Manson, and similar to Finding Steve McQueen, it hit all the beats that you expected. The time period, the enigmatic performance of Matt Smith as Charles Manson, and it showed a bunch of different kinds of things of that era, and specifically about Manson. It didn't go very deep into it, though, so this was pretty straightforward. It was an alright film. It was what I expected from like a bare bones look at these women who were vastly changed, and their lives were changed by being involved with Charles Manson. Now, I also got to watch the SpongeBob movie, SpongeBob SquarePants movie, the original one, because I hadn't seen it, and my girlfriend tried to make a Goofy Goobers reference, and I didn't get it, and now I know, it's a Goofy Goober, yeah! And it's SpongeBob. It's ridiculous. It's fun. It's silly. And I had a lot of fun with it. And, SpongeBob rides David Hasselhoff across the sea like a dolphin or something like that. And has this crazy I Wanna Rock spoof, but Goofy Goober. And just some fun performances. And it's just a goofy, fun time. And if you like SpongeBob and early SpongeBob, there you go. You're going to enjoy the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Now on the tube, watching Avenue 5, and it's this show, I don't love it. I enjoy it a lot, though. Something about it doesn't fully click with me. And for some reason, I've noticed that about a lot of HBO shows. Something just doesn't fully click. But I still enjoy it for what it is, and it's funny, it's enjoyable, Hugh Laurie's great, and now things are just starting to happen, that is like, okay, this could heighten the intrigue, can heighten the stakes, because for a little bit it's just like you're floating around in the ship, and like people are like, when are we gonna get home? And the incompetency is funny, and just the over-the-top characters, it's funny. Watch the new My Hero Academia episode, and it's actually the past two episodes have been a little delayed with getting this video out, obviously. So the past couple episodes, the show's still moving in this new direction, going back and focusing on the students at the school, which kind of missing that after that long arc that I keep mentioning, and it's still a great show. I really enjoyed it a lot. I'm waiting for that next arc to start picking up and for it to get big again. Now, talking about The Outsider, things got really weird last week, and things are starting to move along, and we're starting to find out more about what's going on with the story and this creature, this shape-shifting thing, and I'm really intrigued to see where it keeps going, but the tension is heightening. Cynthia Erivo and Ben Mendelsohn continue to really carry the show. And I think there's only like 2 episodes left, so I'm really hoping to see where this show winds up going. Now, Mythic Quest, Raven's Banquet. I absolutely love this on Apple TV. Those first set of Apple shows, they were cool. They were good. They were fine. Range from good to fine. And like Servant really came out and grabbed my attention. This really grabbed my attention. It's hilarious. There's some pretty generic kind of workplace humor in it, but from the guys who brought you It's Always Sunny, they lampoon the video game industry and fandom in such a clever and intriguing way, and the wide variety of ridiculous characters on this show, from I feel bad I don't know his real name, but Mac from It's Always Sunny is this lead character, Ion, and he's just such a jerk, but he's so charming and charismatic that you kind of forget he's being a jerk until you take a step back and like, wow, he's really a jerk. And like Danny Pudi, who was Abed from Community's in it, and F. Murray Abraham, one of my favorite characters of the show, who's like this Nebula-winning sci-fi author from the 70s who's now writing for a video game. And it's such a great show, I really recommend it. And I watched the most recent season of Better Call Saul, season 4, getting ready for the 5th season, and this show's starting to really get dark, and you're starting to really see that transition of Jimmy McGill into Saul Goodman. And his relationship with his girlfriend is... And she gets a lot to do in this season emotionally and really gets to shine. She is fantastic in the show. And obviously Bob Odenkirk's great. There were some of the side stories with Mike and Gus weren't the most interesting, at least the first half of the season. I felt like I wasn't as engrossed in it, but there were some moments where Mike did get to have with the grieving group that he goes to because of his son and his daughter-in-law. But things really kicked into gear the latter half of this season. But honestly, the whole thing, and one big emotional crux that shot this season off in a new direction, was an ambitious choice, and I really appreciate it. This is still a great show. It had Miracle Workers, and there's a lot of fun to be had with this. You got to see a darker side of Steve Buscemi's character when it's like somebody comes up with the idea with a hole instead of having this shit in the street, and he can't shovel it because there's holes and some of the bad things he does. And then Daniel Radcliffe gets to have some crazy, ridiculous moments in this episode. It's a really fun show. And that kind of wraps up my week in review. A lot of shows, a lot of movies, trying to keep up with. If you want to chat about any of them, leave a comment below. But thank you, as always, for supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.